First and foremost, I need your undivided attention. And I'm making a direct request. Like now, not later. Now. Because when you do that, that message reaches people who need to hear exactly what you're going to hear today. Subscribe to the channel. This is not religious entertainment. This is spiritual guidance for those who want to live wisely in a confusing world. Now listen carefully. Jesus did not come only to save. He came to teach us how to live. During his earthly ministry, every word Jesus spoke carried an eternal principle. Nothing was random. Nothing was empty. Those who ignored his teachings lost their way. Those who applied had their lives transformed. Today you will walk through 20 lessons of wisdom from Jesus' ministry. These aren't pretty phrases. These are the foundations that support an entire life. Jesus always begins his wisdom in the place most ignored by human beings: the heart. He knew that changing the scenery was pointless if the interior remained chaotic. The first lesson is clear. What defiles a person is not what goes into their mouth, but what comes out of their heart. Jesus explains that words, reactions, and decisions reveal who is in charge within us. Wisdom begins when we take responsibility for our inner selves. The second lesson delves deeper into this. Jesus didn't reform behavior, he renewed the mind. That is why he confronted traditions, questioned superficial interpretations, and called people to a new understanding. Changing your mind is the first step to changing your destiny. The third lesson is silent, but powerful. Jesus knew when to speak and when to remain silent. Despite the accusations, he remained steadfast. Because wisdom is not about reacting impulsively, it's about mastering one's own emotions. Those who don't control their emotions become prisoners of them. The fourth lesson reveals spiritual maturity. Not all truths should be revealed without preparation. Jesus taught through parables because he could discern the level of each person's heart. Wisdom is knowing what to say, when to say it, and to whom to say it. And here's the hook. If the heart is the root, then everything we build outside depends on what we allow inside. And this is directly reflected in relationships. Jesus lived surrounded by people, but he was never controlled by them. He taught how to love without losing the truth. The fifth lesson is profound. To love is not to agree with everything. Jesus welcomed sinners, but he confronted sin. He showed that true love doesn't lie to please, but speaks the truth to set free. The sixth lesson defies human logic. Those who want to be great must serve. Jesus, being a master, washed feet. In the kingdom, leadership doesn't come from titles, it comes from service. Wisdom is about stooping down to lift others up. The seventh lesson touches on old wounds. Forgiving is not forgetting, it's deciding not to live as a prisoner of pain. Jesus taught that forgiveness heals the one who forgives more than the one who receives it. A lack of forgiveness corrodes from within and blocks spiritual growth. The eighth lesson reveals discernment. Jesus had crowds, disciples, and an inner circle. Not everyone had access to the same level of intimacy. Wisdom lies in understanding that closeness needs to be built with loyalty and maturity. And when relationships are aligned, Jesus leads faith into the realm of practice. Jesus never praised speeches about faith. He responded to lived faith. The ninth lesson teaches that faith is not the absence of fear. It's about trusting even when fear exists. Jesus faced pain, rejection, and pressure, but remained obedient. True faith doesn't paralyze, it moves. The 10th lesson reveals that the size of one's faith is not the problem. One mustard seed is enough when it's pointing in the right direction. Even a little in God's hands becomes abundant. The 11th lesson confronts human control. Jesus invited people to follow him before explaining the way. Obedience precedes understanding. Those who demand complete clarity before obeying never make progress. The 12th lesson brings a warning. Miracles don't replace relationships. Many were touched, few remained. Jesus sought transformation, not admiration. And when faith becomes practical, it demands firm choices. Jesus never offered an easy path. He offered a true path. The 13th lesson is straightforward. You cannot serve two masters. That which competes with God in the heart becomes an idol. Wisdom lies in identifying this before it steals the Lord's place. The 14th lesson points to the eternal. Jesus taught about treasures in heaven because he knew that the present moment passes quickly. Those who live only for the present sacrifice the future. The 15th lesson is about cost. Following Jesus requires denying oneself. It's not a loss, it's alignment. It's not death, it's true life. The 16th lesson concludes this section. Whoever loses their life for Christ's sake finds it. In the kingdom, giving something up is never a waste. It is an eternal sowing. And after speaking about choices, Jesus points to the final destination. Jesus always taught with his eyes on eternity. The 17th lesson teaches vigilance. Life is short. Time is an opportunity. Those who understand this live with purpose. The 18th lesson confronts responsibility. Listening is not enough. Practice is what holds the house together when the storm comes. Wisdom is proven through daily obedience. The 19th lesson reveals hope. The kingdom of God is not just a future thing. It begins now, where Jesus reigns. And the 20th lesson concludes everything. Love. Love God above all else. Love your neighbor as yourself. All true wisdom leads to this. These 20 lessons are not ancient history. These are directions for today. If this message resonated with you, write in the comments. I choose to live according to the wisdom of Jesus. Share it, and stay with us. Because learning from Jesus is not just about listening. It's about deciding to live differently.